Welcome everyone, welcome. Justin M. Bailey here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Justin M. Bailey. Hi. And I'm a not-for-profit YouTuber that also likes to write books, but the making the YouTube videos, I just like to make them. I just like to share what I'm passionate and what I'm interested in, and hopefully I want to have it where before you watch it there's no advertisements, because fuck that shit, frankly. The only thing I like to advertise is the stuff I'm interested in. And today I want to share with you who is easily one of my most favorite YouTubers of all time. There's James Rolfe of Angry Video Game Nerd fame. I love that guy. The amazingly fantastic nerd rock duo that is Dwayne and Brando. And even though it might seem strange, because this one so doesn't go with those first two, he's so the opposite in so many ways, other than the fact that he's sharing his passion, is Professor Wesely Cecil of Peninsula College. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Professor Wesely Cecil of Peninsula College is easily not just one of my most favorite YouTubers of all time, not just such a big inspiration to me, frankly, but he is also one of my biggest living philosophical influences. And there's Cody Lundeen, Uncle Bobby Green. He's got a new book out, everyone. There's the amazing one and only Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And then there's Wesely Cecil. Wesely Cecil is a philosopher, and what's great about him is, you see, philosophy are some extremely difficult mental mountain ranges to cross and climb and tackle. There's many reasons why so many of us don't like philosophy, but one of the biggest is how tough it is. But the beauty of Wesely Cecil's works is, not only has Wesely Cecil studied just about everything philosophical there is under the sun to study, not only does he have multiple degrees, I'm told that his PhDs have actually earned PhDs, not only does he speak multiple languages, not only has he read more books than your entire family reunion has hairs on their collective heads. Even greater than all of these accomplishments, Wesely Cecil is just a fantastic lecturer overall. Doesn't matter what he's talking about. He once even gave an entire 1-hour lecture on walking, and it was phenomenal. Doesn't matter what he's lecturing about. You are guaranteed to laugh, you're going to be entertained, you're going to be educated, you're going to be enlightened. Some of the dark spots of your noggin space, suddenly there's going to be some lights there flickering on that weren't on before. That weren't there before. Lectures that focus heavily on the importance of the ancient Greeks, specifically the idea of certainy. Nietzsche, who was also pretty big into the ancient Greeks himself, the importance of leisure, the importance of friendship, the importance of philosophy overall in your everyday lives. Wesely Cecil once famously coined that to know philosophy was akin to knowing how to count cards in poker. And if you're looking for someone to make you a bit of a better philosophical card counter, I can't recommend him more, because this is how phenomenal Wesely Cecil's work really is. Okay, number one, check this out. Okay, number one, Wesely Cecil's YouTube videos are not even really YouTube videos at all. They're just audio recordings of his lectures with a crappy picture always slapped on top of it. No special effects, no green screens or nothing, just audio. Number two, most of the time his audio is not even really that good. I swear, like, for the first half of all his lectures, FDR had better audio 90 years ago when he delivered his famous Fear Itself speech. Fear itself. Number three, as far as I know, Wesely Cecil is not huge into the social media. He doesn't do a lot of the Facebook or the Twitter or any of that crap. He's pretty much a self-professed Luddite, honestly. Okay, and number four, okay, so let's go down the list. No video, crappy audio, hardly any of the social media. Unless we forget, he's not making videos about what Childish Gambino's body language means, or another Star Wars rant film theory about all the reasons why Last Jedi sucked. It didn't. He's making videos about ancienter than ancient, older than old, hardcore philosophy. And in spite of that, in spite of all these things, Wesely Cecil has actually, against all odds, this should have never happened. He breaks almost every single YouTube convention we know. He has over 20,000 subscribers right now. And even if to you that seems like YouTube small potatoes, you cannot deny how remarkable it is that his videos, his lectures, have already accumulated over 2 million views. And God knows how many minutes when each of his lectures is over an hour. About an hour. In short, that's just how good Wesely Cecil is. That's how good his lectures are. Because thousands upon thousands of people have, like myself, have literally just stumbled upon his lectures one day. I just wanted to learn about Karl Marx while cleaning out my basement. I said, oh, fuck it, I'll give this guy a try. And every time, I bet if you're listening to this and you're a fan of Wesely Cecil, you came to the same reaction. Oh my God, this is good stuff right here. It's amazing. And he always gives his lectures live, and you just hear his audience is always fully into it, laughing along and having a good time and learning something from it. So for those of you interested, and I hope you are, Wesely Cecil's many lecture series, they can be divided into six different series, with the 7th along the way, and I'm super excited for that. I'll get into that shortly. But number 1, Intro to Philosophy. I recommend Nietzsche, Simone de Beauvoir, and Epicurus, if you can. Epicurus talks all about the philosophy of what makes us happy. You know, he's first philosopher we know of to tackle happiness. Pretty sure we all like being happy. Number 2, his lecture series on leisure. It's phenomenal. Listen to the entire thing. Truly, Wesely Cecil is a man of leisure. Number 3, world languages. It's super boring. I would say just skip the whole damn thing. But next, Myths of the American Mind. This one's phenomenal. It comes with all the crazy myths we all have as Americans. Most of them I agree with, one I don't. But if you can only listen to one, check out his lecture on scientism. You know, a lot of us aren't down with the worshiping of the god today. We all think that's silly, but we worship science like a god, so I mean, what's the difference, right? Do you know what I mean? What's the difference between a bunch of born-agains who get together, who feel their beliefs make them superior to everybody, to a bunch of atheists who, well, pretty much do the exact same thing, you know? So he eloquently so puts that we've all forgotten, science is not a thing, it's a method. And most of the problem solving we do not use the scientific method. So it's totally worth your time. Next, The Forgotten Thinkers. This one is a tiny bit hit and miss, but it's still amazing. But if you're gonna just check out a few, Walter Kaufmann, who's great. He's the guy who redeemed Nietzsche. So if you like Nietzsche, he kind of ties into him. If you're gonna listen to one, listen to Max Stirner, aka the Spookbuster. Max Stirner is a thinker that should not remain forgotten. I'm so thankful for Wesely introducing me to this guy. I made a Venom series recently. I almost talked about him on it because like how Venom is possessed with all these crazy ideas, you know, about how Spider-Man ruined his life and everything, and every single one of us are possessed by all these crazy ideas, all these crazy spooks in our head. And Max Stirner gets into that, so phenomenal. Check him out. Next one, Uses for Philosophy for Living, which is easily the best lecture series, the best idea he's come up with yet, even more so than his fantastic leisure series. If you're going to listen to just one, listen to his lecture on courage. His lecture on courage is one of the best he's ever done. However, I will say, if there's one huge criticism I do have for Wesely Cecil, I'm sure the ancient Greeks and Socrates, aka Pickle Nose, would understand, he gives a fantastic lecture about courage, but I don't know how much he actually understands about courage beyond the abstract. There's lots of things I wonder how much Wesely Cecil actually understands what he's talking about beyond the abstract when he is such a stereotypical big fish in a small pond professor. If there's one criticism, one big bugaboo I got about the guy, it's that, because that's him. That's who he is. Truly, Wesely Cecil is a man of leisure. Not only is Wesely Cecil a self-professed Luddite, but he is also a self-professed hobbit that sees little reason to leave his shire unless absolutely necessary. And his shire is basically, well, the world of academia. But this is also why I'm so excited about his next year's set of lectures, because Wesely Cecil is courageously tackling his largest topic yet. And it's courageous because at the end of last year, this is the first time he admits, like, I might not be able to pull this series off this year. He's like, this could be a really dumb series I'm trying to tackle. Which, okay, so that shows he doesn't know how it's going to work out, but he's still doing it. That's courage right there. Do you know what I mean? And it may not seem like jumping out of planes or wrestling with bears or something, but I'm just excited to see what he comes up with because I love all his work so much. And I also feel that if that was my biggest criticism of him, the biggest praise I have to bestow on the dude is I really feel that with all the languages he's learned so far and all his degrees and all the books he's read and all his lecture work, I really don't feel that Wesely is trying all that hard. And I know that might sound crazy. I'm pretty sure if Wesely Cecil heard that, it might sound crazy to him. I'm sure he'd be like, yeah, getting my PhD was really tough. And then I would say back, yeah, but probably the same amount of tough for you as it is for me to beat Super Metroid under a certain time, if you take my meaning. I feel so bad about criticizing the guy at all because he feels he's wonderful. So I just so happily want to make up for it for saying that Wesely strikes me as so brilliant that I compare him very much to Lord Frieza from DBZ's Resurrection F. You know that movie where they bring back Frieza? And already Frieza was one of the most powerful in the entire galaxy, but he never had to try hard at all. You know what I mean? And so part of the appeal of the movie is, okay, if that, now we actually get to see Frieza when he's actually pushing himself a little, And it's just like, well, that's how I feel about this year's set of lectures. Because I'm such a huge fan of Wesely Cecil. I'm so giddy to see what he comes up with. And I hope over time he pushes himself more and more. Because I feel there's lots of us that poo-poo philosophy and reading books and learning languages and academia and all that, and you can learn so much from all these things. But I'm always going to feel that the best way you're ever going to learn is by leaving your comfy, cozy Shire behind, your comfort zone. I talked about a lot of this on my JMB RPG series. I talk about a lot of philosophy on my works too, but I would call myself a philosophizer, where Wesely Cecil is a philosopher, if that makes any sense. Wesely Cecil writes beautiful, fantastic philosophical symphonies. I read a couple of ditties on a guitar, so I think that's the best way to describe it. So what's he tackling that's so big this year? That we are yet in another axial age. If you don't know what that is, I don't feel like explaining it to you. I don't at all, okay? So just listen to his final lecture of last year, and then you'll realize why this year, why the topic he's tackling is so big. I'm just so excited to see what Wes comes up with. And on this channel, every now and then, I'm going to cover his works, because I feel that he's someone that more people would benefit from learning from his works. And, best way I'm going to say what I want to do every now and then is, on his lectures, Wesely Cecil talks about, I'm glad you like my lectures, but you really should actually read the philosophies yourself. Not just get it from me, hands-on your own, sit and read it. Well, I have a copy of Thus Spoke Zarathustra and Walden by Henry David Thoreau, just collecting dust. I'm a pretty decent reader, but I can't get through philosophy books. And maybe you feel personally that even though you might like watching my videos, maybe you can't get through 1-hour lectures with no video and so-so audio. Do you know what I mean? So I want to take his works and then just condense it down. Hopefully, Wes wants me to read philosophy. I can't do that. I want you to listen to Wes, but maybe you can't. So I'm going to condense it and hopefully pass it along. And so I hope you all come join me. And again, I'm not for profit as far as YouTube goes. I just think most of that is bullshit, but I'm gonna make videos every now and then about what I'm passionate and interested in. And if I ever get published, if you guys ever want to throw some money my way, I won't complain about that either. So I'm Justin M. Bailey. Thank you all. Bye.